So a question I often get asked is, how do I become a product photographer, and how do I transition from my full-time job into doing product photography and finding success in this business? And so I wanted to make this video for you guys today to tell you more about how I got into this industry and how I became booked out, and also the 5 factors that I think have really contributed to my success. So to give you a glimpse into where our business is now, and I don't say this to brag or anything, I say this to help you guys see what's actually possible in this industry. I work with my partner Alistair, he's our videographer, so we offer both photo and video to our clients. We've just hired our first team member as well. Kiri is our new project and production manager, and on average we make anywhere from about 20 to 30k per month just in one-on-one work. And so before my business, I was working in project management, administration, finance, and I never got a photography degree at all. I actually never wanted to become a photographer. My educational background is the complete opposite. I have a bachelor in social science, so criminology and psych, and I have a master's in finance. So there's just no correlation whatsoever between the two. So the way that I actually got into this industry is when I was made redundant from my first job out of uni. I had 3 months of unemployment, and during that I had an online blog. It was in Korean finance. It was very small. I just really loved writing at the time. And I take all the photos for the blog posts and for the Instagram account. Very bad photos. I'm gonna show one right now. It makes me cringe. It's terrible, but this is where I started. And so during unemployment, I bought my first camera. I was bored out of my brains, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna learn photography. And being made redundant was also the catalyst for me to realize that working for somebody else, to me, was actually incredibly unstable. People can just kick you out like that. And I guess from my experience of being made redundant and I've been fired, I have never felt more stable in my own business. So from there, I decided I'm going to start my own photography business. I'm going to take control of my finances. And at the time in 2017, when this was happening, stock photos were a huge thing on Instagram, like those pretty desk flat lays. And I was like, I'm gonna create a stock photo membership for female entrepreneurs. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be heaps of photos. And that was my plan. I started taking photos, realized I hated it, mainly because there was no goal for the images. There was no like one product, like hero product. And I couldn't get my lighting right. I struggled so much with lighting. Everything just looked shit. So I gave up on that. A couple months later, I was still in the blogging scene, and I was following a lot of these bloggers who were in Europe. And I was trying to build my social media following, wasn't getting anywhere. Like this, I had under 1,000 followers. And I saw that these bloggers in Europe, they were posting really pretty photos of products, and they had large followings. They got paid to do it. And I was like, that's a job? Like, that is so cool. How can I do that? And so I really tried to build a following, because I thought if you had a following, that meant that I could work with brands, because obviously they wanted exposure. It was too hard. And I was like, this isn't ever going to happen for me. So I was like, how else can I do this? And I realized, well, I will try my hand at product photography. And so I put up a post on a Facebook group asking if anyone would like to send product to me. I will take photos. At this point, I had a tiny bit of a portfolio from my stock photography, so I had something to show. And all I wanted in exchange was a testimonial. So that's how I got into the industry, and from those collaborations, that's how I got my first paying clients as well. And from there, everything just grew. So this leads me now into the 5 factors that I think have really contributed to my success in the industry. And I really hope that you guys take these on board. You really think about them if this is an industry that you want to find great success in. So number 1 is a strong willingness to invest in yourself and your dream. I know this sounds really cliche, but you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have the drive and the willingness to make this happen for yourself. And you're going to need to spend money on this career. Unfortunately, photography is not that cheap when it comes down to buying cameras and lenses and backgrounds and props and lights. It's not the cheapest thing, but it's super fun. So just know that if you want to get into this industry, you will have to spend some money. But obviously, as your business grows, you'll be earning more and you'll be able to spend more along the way. I also think that you really have to want it, and that's with anything in life. And I know this, again, sounds really cliche, but you always come back to your why. Your why is your daily driver. For me, my why is never having to go back to corporate ever again. My greatest fear in life is having to go back to work for somebody else. I could not. And you know what? We're all gonna have days where we just wanna lie on the couch, watch Netflix, eat a bag of chips, and not really feel like doing anything. We feel unmotivated. Sometimes we might feel like giving up. That's okay. And usually when we feel like that, we just need to take a break, whether that's a day, a couple of days, a week, whatever it is that you need to reboot. Number 2 is investing in your education and experimentation. Producing high quality work that will attract brands to your business. If you can produce amazing photos, people are gonna notice. Like, if you put it out there, people are going to notice that. But this takes time, and you don't just become amazing overnight. And so this is why investing in courses and your education, this is going to fast track your success. And this is a huge reason why I created my course to become a brand photographer, because it's the course that I wish I had when I started out. So instead of you taking 3.5 years to learn everything, you can learn everything in a very short amount of time. Instead of sifting through a million YouTube videos, trying to find advice for free, you can literally just buy a course, and whether it's my course or someone else's course, doesn't matter. As long as you are investing in your education, that's what matters the most. That will enable you to find success very quickly. And that's why courses exist, so that we can fast track our success and we don't have to just figure everything out for ourselves. We can learn from other people's experiences and mistakes. And the thing that I think makes my course different is that it not only teaches you the photography side and like how to actually produce a high quality photo, it also teaches you the business side. And I think that if you want to find success in business, you've got to know how to run a business and how to market yourself and sell yourself. So with those two combined, I think, yeah, it's a very helpful course, if I do say so myself. Number 4 is consistently working on your mindset. Sometimes I feel like running a business is like 80% mindset and 20% action or like other. I still compare myself. I still have self-doubt. There are still days where I'm just like, what the hell am I doing? Like, am I even good enough to be in this industry? Like, you're gonna have those thoughts at any phase of business, and you get better at booting those thoughts out of your brain. And so along the way, sometimes it is a battle with yourself to believe in yourself and stand up for your work and be confident in what you're doing. And the other big thing is money mindset. Working on my money mindset was probably the most important thing I have ever done for my business. And it is, I think, the number one reason why I am where I am today. And I guess this kind of ties in with my second point of investing in your education and investing in your business. If you're too afraid to spend money, it's going to be more difficult for you to grow your business. And the key thing is to realize limitations and blocks that you have. So for example, a recent blockage that I have had when it comes to my money mindset was that I was afraid to quote high. When I was presented with a project where it was a very big project and it required a lot of images, I was too scared to slap a big number on it because I was like, oh, I'm not used to quoting this. I better discount this. And I negotiated down my own rates with myself, which is just ridiculous. And obviously the more photos that need to be delivered, the higher the price, because the longer it's going to take to produce that content. That makes sense. But when I was quoting projects like that, for some reason, I was like, oh, I better discount it because Well, because that's a really big number and maybe they won't go for that. That's a really uncomfortable number that I have to pitch. And I know that this number is what it's worth, but I'm too uncomfortable to quote this. And it's really interesting to find out where this limitation stems from. So obviously when we start out in the photography industry, our prices are low, and therefore we're mostly attracting small businesses because they have a smaller budget. That's totally fine. But what happens is, as our quality of work gets better, well, we have to increase our prices. And so we start hearing from small businesses who we're still attracting say, oh, that's out of my budget. Oh, that's too expensive. Really, it's that much for these many photos? And so when we're told that numerous times, it can start to play in your mindset and you believe like, oh, maybe this is too expensive because no one can afford it. When in fact, you're just attracting the wrong people to your business now. And so as you increase your prices, well then, yes, you want to start attracting people who can then afford those prices. And it's not the fault of the small business that they can't afford it. There is a photographer out there for every single budget, and that is amazing. But for you, when you start increasing your prices and you're letting those statements get into your mind and it makes you believe that no one can afford you, it stunts your growth and it makes you afraid to increase your prices. And so that's why money mindset plays such a crucial role in the success and the development and the growth of your business. As your business grows, you're going to find new money mindset blocks where it's like new level, new devil, right? So you're going to want to work on these and attend to them as soon as possible because it can affect how profitable your business becomes. And if somebody cannot afford your prices, that's okay. It just means that you two are not the right fit for each other, and there is a photographer out there for that client, and there's a brand out there for you as well. And number 5 is knowing when to hire help. Now, as your business grows, you're going to get more inquiries, you're going to book more people, and you're going to become booked out, which is great. And so if you don't have anyone there to help you, what eventually happens is you're doing hours of admin per day while still trying to do your current projects, your creative projects. You're trying to do pre-production, production, editing, work on future projects and plan those, do your accounting, your marketing, show up, have a social life, maybe have a social life. That's too much. That's a lot. And so eventually something has to give. And what can often happen is that when you are spread too thin, when your focus is split too many ways, you can't give anything your focus. And so you can't give anything 100%. And so the quality of your work can decrease. It's just not as good as what it could potentially be. And that's what happened to me last year. Yes, my work was still great, but I barely had creative space to push it even further. So whether you hire somebody to help you with your admin or your accounts or whatever it is, or you completely pull back on your bookings and you only do what you can actually handle. But when your business is at a phase where the inquiries are flooding in, it gets really overwhelming. It's a great place to be, but it's really overwhelming and you can't focus on anything. So at that point, it's time to either increase your prices and it's time to hire help. And whether that is getting someone in for a couple of hours a week, a couple hours a day, just to help out with tasks that you don't have to do. Because as the photographer, we are the ones who have to be creative. We're the ones who have to do the actual work. And so if you can separate your admin or your accounts or your marketing from your creative work and you can solely focus on being creative, you're gonna have a much happier business. For example, our new project and production manager, Kiri, she works about 10 to 12 hours for us per week. So she works Monday to Thursday and she'll do roughly 2 to 3 hours per day. And I cannot tell you the difference it has made to my life and my mental state. It has taken off a really huge mental load for me. I'm finally able to actually focus on my creative projects, which I haven't been able to do in a very long time. And as a result, this is going to help me grow the business even more. So if you are finding that you're getting too busy and it's too overwhelming, it's probably time to hire someone. And you want to do this before you get too busy, because when you are in the thick of it, you still have to train someone. but you're barely going to have time to even gather your thoughts to train someone to help you with your business. And training someone takes time. So I really hope this video has helped you guys and it's motivated you or just given you something extra to think about. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below on the video. And if you want to look into my online course, Become a Brand Photographer, I'll leave that in the description box below as well. And you can use the code YouTube for 10% off. But I will see you guys in the next video.